Let's now take our very first story. The VRA says there has been a decline in demand for power from the national grid as a result of investments into solar and other renewable energy sources by some individuals and businesses. This development is said to be posing a threat to the sustainability of the ECG and other power producers if government does not intervene. In the following report, energy analyst Dr. Eric Ifa is calling for a rigorous investment into renewable energy technology for the sector.
Energy expert Dr. Eric Ifa Donina is advocating a diversion of conventional ways of producing power for consumption. The call follows a revelation by the Volta River Authority (VRA) that the demand for power from the national grid has reduced over the years due to private sector investments into renewable energy sources. The VRA is suggesting that a more sustainable way to discourage people from the use of self-invested generators is to bring down the cost on generating power through conventional means.
So the only way to end up or to help the industries to put aside that genset is when the power from the grid is cheaper than what actually the genset is able to give it to them. And again, now predominantly a lot of our gas, or we're using gas for a lot of our generation. So I think it's just simple. If the input into the generation of electricity, which is mainly gas, is lower, then that benefit can pass on to the end user or the consumer.
According to Dr. Efa, the producers have to research into new technologies apart from merging with private sector institutions or risk collapse. He believes the world is moving from normal ways of generating power to the use of modern technologies which are cost-effective. Dr. Efa spoke in a telephone interview with Joy Business.
What the electric utilities could do to keep themselves in business or keep themselves relevant in the unfolding trend of energy transition is probably to flow with the change, to flow in the same direction as the change. That is, they are also to undertake research and invest in the new technology of renewables instead of staying put on the conventional technologies, which are gradually becoming obsolete. If they don't change, what is going to happen is that due to distributed energy generation from solar and wind technologies, mostly on people's homes, is going to erode the demand of energy from these customers, from the grid system. And so the utilities revenues are going to reduce gradually until a point where they will almost become obsolete.
Meanwhile, there has been a call for rigorous investment into the energy sector to avert power rationing. Ebenezer Sabute's report for Joy Business.
The Ghana Revenue Authority (GRA) has expressed satisfaction in its strategic partner McKinsey & Co. The international consulting firm was contracted to help maximize revenue collection. According to the GRA, the country could not meet its projected revenue last year. However, it is projecting 45 billion Ghana cedis this year. Commissioner General of the GRA, Emmanuel Kofinti, however, says McKinsey & Co. is only working on contract basis and that they will not cause a drain on the public purse.
The ports in Ghana are major sources of revenue generation. Despite this, there have been some significant leakages of revenue from various loopholes in the system. Last year, for instance, the Ghana Revenue Authority was unable to meet its target as it recorded a revenue shortfall of 1.8 billion Ghana cedis. However, it has still gone ahead and projected 45 billion cedis as revenue target for 2019. At GZNet's 6th annual Thanksgiving, Deputy General Manager of the company, Mano Darko, said his outfit is working hard to introduce a new trade facilitation tool in March. This, he noted, as part of measures to help boost revenue generation for government.
We've been asked to come up with suggestions as how the revenue gaps are going to be addressed. We look at it from a number of angles, so which we're going to profile solutions to government. We're also coming out with a new generation e-customs management system. In March, we'll come up with a new trade facilitation platform. Obviously, those areas that we identify that if these areas were addressed, they would contribute to the revenue mobilization we're going to do that.
GCNet has, however, kicked against moves by government to introduce a new port clearance system known as Unipass.
Obviously, we are a service provider. We are not the policy regulator. So we'd always sometimes proffer, but we'd have to respond to the policy initiatives that are taken, like yesterday's or 2 days new policy that it is intended to be launched on the transit trade business. Yes, there are the tools there, but sometimes we also need to look at the enforcement part of it.
In a related development, Director General of GRA, Emmanuel Kofi-Nti, expressed confidence in a strategic partner, McKinsey Group, to realize its revenue targets.
We did relatively well. The customs area improved. They say that in October they did like 5.3% growth. They moved to 16.3% growth in November, and they finally in December they did 18.1%. We have the belief that going to 2019, things should be far better than we experienced in 2018.
GCNet's Thanksgiving ceremony is held annually to, among others, re-strategize for the years ahead.
Now, it's the latest sensation that has gotten many people talking and reminiscing about their past looks, also known as a 10-year challenge. Well, let's also explore brands in the business world as we try to focus on their impact over the past 2 decades.
According to some online sources, rebranding is a marketing strategy in which a new name, term, symbol, or design is created for an established product or service. The intention is to develop a newly differentiated identity in the minds of consumers and stakeholders. This offers a clean slate for companies to improve their service and orientation in their specific industry. For instance, Apple Computers Incorporated, now Apple, changed its logo from a multicolored bitten apple to a plain one. This gave the logo a clean, fresh look, making it modern and sophisticated. When it also changed its name, it removed the limit of the company to try new devices. All the new changes are to promote the brand owner's interest. How about the consumer? Do they really feel the impact of the rebranding exercise? An interaction with a cross-section of Ghanaians show that particularly in the banking sector, the expectations are not met.
Or like the banks, some of them change, some of them too, they remain the same. The tellers, some of them they receive you nice, but some of them too, if you go, they don't receive you nice. They talk to you as if you are the hand. That's why
There are times that you see some of the organizations that's showing in the way they go about their things and all that, the way their customers, their tellers and other staff talk to you and all that. But there are others that, I mean, it's just, I don't know how to say, it's just the rebranding and then nothing has changed.
We feel the effect of the rebranding because they bring some innovatives that you benefit from it as a customer. For example, giving educational loans and like this. You can seek a loan for your children's education and all that is part of the rebranding they used to innovate.
However, the strategy, the consumer's needs must always be the first priority. For Joy Business, Karen Dodu.
So if you really want to know the impact of branding and rebranding on businesses, products and services, let's talk to Marketing Communication and Coordinator at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Raphael Odum, to get some more thoughts from him. Good evening, sir. Welcome to Business Live.
Good evening.
Now, aside improving brand image, why would a company rebrand?
As you have already spoken, with some of your colleagues and a lot of the people, aside the fact that in your country, there's a whole lot of things that is also as far as branding is concerned. Now, a lot of companies do rebranding to do what we call repositioning. That is to create a different image in the minds of consumers. Or, there have been certain activities that have been marred by certain circumstances and certain occasions and certain activities. So, various companies say that, let us carry out a rebranding activity in order to reshape the mentality that has. For some others too, it may be for internationalization purposes. And for some others too, because they have changed their maps into a newer site of what they have. Others too, it may be the fact the current brand image is outdated and they need to copy or bring out something new. Most of the other issues, it is to resolve certain kinds of conflict that currently may be going on with the companies.
All right, now, Doc.
There are over one time.
Now, so, Doc, if a company is really making profit, so to speak, why would it decide for other reasons to rebrand if indeed it is not making any serious or is not having any serious impact on its goods and services? Why would there be necessity to rebrand?
The fact is that usually business going down may be due to a lot of implications or several factors. Now, rebranding, like I mentioned earlier, would sort of eventually create a mentality in the minds of the consumers that, look, we have a new management, we have a system, and so this time around we have a serious business, and so if previously we've not been dealing with it well, then this is the best time to go. So sometimes it is a way of creating a declining brand where there will be a new mode of survival on the market.
All right, now, so how does the consumer come into play in all this? Because from some interactions we've had, some people claim they don't actually feel any change.
For the change, it may be physical, but I like one of the contributions, one of your listeners or one of the people you interviewed actually hinted on. That is the issue of innovation. For most companies, once there is a rebranding, the first and foremost thing we see is that bring something innovative, something that we've never seen before. I mean, the case was made for Apple instance. You get to have a different feel of the product altogether. So all the two have actually gone away to decide to say, you know what, let's get back to our company and see what they have for us this time. It is also an avenue for you to express your image that may be there and to also ensure certain consistency, which eventually becomes a profitability avenue. So the consumers, in effect, get up to all these innovative products, the new value that you are promising, and also become part of consistency-driven activities within the organization.
All right, many thanks for your time. Dr. Raphael Odum is a communication and branding expert at the University of Ghana Business School. He's been sharing his thoughts on the impact of branding on business products and services. Let's move on to one of our top stories today. And government has revealed it will make $2.6 billion from property rates and corporate income taxes from the Obuasi redevelopment project by the end of over the 20-year period of the mine. President Akufo-Addo also said government will strengthen laws to prevent encroachment on the concessions. President Akufo-Addo revealed this at the opening of the redevelopment of the Obuasi mine.
In order to help an Anglo-Gold Ashanti secure the needed investment for the project, government had to provide a number of fiscal incentives and guarantee the stability of the project against changes in the legal environment, especially in the early years of the mine's operations. It is expected that all the agreements reached, including the vigorous implementation of domestic content policy, will be scrupulously honored and performed. The initial investment in the redevelopment project is $881 million United States dollars, with a total investment of $1.6 billion United States dollars projected for the entire 22-year life of the mine. The whole incentive package and investment have been approved by Parliament.
Managing Director of the Obuasi Mines, Eric Osubontin, says the mines will cooperate with residents of the mining community.
The future of the mine cannot be overemphasized. We remain eternally grateful. We look forward to hearing your remarks, which we no doubt know will provide us with nuggets of advice to guide us on this new path. We know both of you, like all present, have very high expectations from us to deliver on our promise of a modern, efficient, and profitable mechanized mine. Your Excellency, Your Majesty, I assure you that we will endeavor to put our best efforts into this redeveloped mine. We pray that we will continue to enjoy your support and encouragement as we open this new chapter in the rich story of this historic mine.
All right, so we would like to stay on this issue a little longer because it's very, very sensitive and very interesting for the country's development. And we'll be going over to Obuasi, where my colleague Prince Apia will bring us up to speed with developments there after the opening or the reopening ceremony. But for now, my colleague Norvan Akwaheford has joined me in the studio once again to analyze the story of Anglo Gold and the impact of the firm's reopening on the economy. Now, Norvan, so how do we get here in the first place?
Okay, so in 2014, Anglo Gold informed the whole of Ghana that they needed to redevelop the mine, and that is because production has fallen at the time and they needed to do something to revive the mine. So what they did was to place the mine under care and maintenance. Prior to that, they had had a lot of disturbances from illegal miners, and these illegal miners were getting on their concession. There were talks with government to see what they could do with that. Fast forward, they laid off a number of workers. After laying off these workers, Anglo Gold, placed this mine under care maintenance, and then they engaged a company called Renewable, another well-known mining firm in South Africa, and they were supposed to go into some kind of partnership and then see what they could do to revive this mine. And there was an MOU that was signed, and there was some work that was going on as to how they could redevelop this particular mine.
Now you realize that somewhere along the line, they were having some problems with raising enough capital to actually redevelop this mine.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was coming to, where Renewable came in to see what they could do to help in securing funding and then redevelop the mine very well to increase production and also see what they can ramp up in there. Now, what happened was, because they were having a lot of problems with these illegal small-scale miners all coming on their concession, I mean, in 2016, if you recall, it led to the death of the late John Obuasi, who was the communications director of Anglo Gold Ashanti. They had gone to see some illegal miners, and these guys decided to chase them with, sticks, stones, and anything that they could lay their hands on. And unfortunately, that's the unfortunate that where a company vehicle ran over, John Obuasi.
Now, the president is showing that there will be enough security for the concessions, the mine concessions. How would this be done? Because it's a large area.
We're hoping that they will get that. Don't forget that Anglo Gold Ashanti, gave away 60% of the concession back to government. And government was supposed to come up with a plan in order to, give it to these registered, registered guys from Obuasi who were interested in, engaging in mining. So you will say that those illegal miners this time needed to go for licenses and then be given part of the 60% area Anglo Gold decided to relinquish back to government. And with this now, the 40% which they hold, I mean, the redevelopment, if they're able to do what they've done, what they have to do today, they have reopened this mine. We understand that initially some 500 workers are supposed to be engaged. It's going to be more, but initially they're going to have 500, and then, as the time goes on, they'll be increasing the numbers.
So obviously, this is going to really generate a lot of economic activity within the region. Now, apart from employment, apart from, direct benefits to the GDP, what other benefits would it bring to the economy?
I mean, Obuasi became almost, or was until today, a ghost town, because the economy of Obuasi was not diverse. It was just about mining. And because it was just about mining, I mean, it was difficult to resurrect the economy in that area when, Anglo Gold as a company, the only biggest mining company within that enclave, decided to go under care and maintenance. And so today, what is going to happen is traders are going to have their things, are going to restock again. I mean, this is going to see a lot of businesses, small businesses, small-scale businesses that, hitherto were operating there and had to move out of the place because the mining, was put under care and maintenance. All of them coming back, because then the purchasing power of these individuals are going to be more. But one thing that many have said, and I think that when all the processes was going on, a lot of people said, make sure you employ a lot more residents or people,
locals. Yes,
locals.
That's exactly the point. But this time round, the operations of the redeveloped mine is going to be under a different module, contract mining. How different is it from the previous, edition? Okay,
so the difference here is, initially you had Anglo Gold engaging, the service of people to work direct. So I work at Multimedia, I've been engaged direct. Now, contract mining means that Anglo Gold is given the service, the mine, to another person to maintain and to run it as the business. Because you see, remember, they have said that this time they are doing mechanized mining, not the good old way of mining that they were doing. So if they are doing mechanized mining, they need people who have the skill set. And that's how come this time around they have, somebody who will take care of that and who will employ people to work.
Let me quickly pause here and let's go to Obuasi, where Prince Apia is bringing some updates.
In the mining industry, came here in Obuasi to open the Obuasi mine, dubbed the Obuasi Mine Redevelopment Project, and is expected to create over 2,000 jobs for people of Ghana. One major thing that came out was the fact that residents of this particular area that previously was very vibrant and active, that became dead because of the shut of the mine, will get employed in this new arrangement. And we are here with some residents of Obuasi to find out from them what they think about the arrangement and the new contract, and whether it is the right way to go for them. Thank you very much for joining us on JoyNews.
Thank you very much for having me.
First and foremost, are you excited with this, the reopening of the Obuasi mine?
Oh yes, I'm very excited for the reopening of the Obuasi mine. It's been something we've been waiting for, let me say, for the past 2 years. But if today, 22nd of January, we have woken up to see this day, we have seen history. Somebody will term it as Obuasi's independence. So if you're asking me whether I'm happy or not, I will tell you that I'm very happy to see this day.
Yeah, a lot of things had gone on. A lot of things have been put in the contract. From you as a resident, are you okay, if I should put it, with the things that are put in the contract for this new mine that has been opened?
Yes, it's a yes or no answer going forward. I would say yes because it is going to create employment, and that is the bottom line. Whether me directly or indirectly, going to give employment to the people of Obuasi, the people in the Anderson Enclave, in the north of Ghana. So I am very much okay with that aspect of it. Then the second aspect of it that might not be okay boils down on the local employment that we have been talking about. It will interest you to know that Anglo Gold Ashanti came out with, as part of the redevelopment process, they came out with what we call the local employment procedure. That one, it is for the non-skilled and semi-skilled. They are going to do the local employment procedure. But when it comes to
all right, so obviously an elated worker there of Anglo Gold Ashanti, and many people are very, very happy about this particular issue or particular development that has come up. But come to studio quickly, 30 seconds. What's your take on the way forward?
I think we are all very happy to see this mine reopened. That will bring life to the people of Obuasi. That would help, rejuvenate the dead town. We're hoping that this time around we're not going to see the mine go down again. Things will be done properly, and it will be a continuous business or a going concern.
All right, thank you very much. Norvan Aqua, you can stay glued to your sets because we'll bring you an extended version and various other issues with regards to or regarding the development and redevelopment of the Anglo Gold Obuasi mine on our JoyNews Prime Business segment. For now, it's an end on Business Life. My name is Emmanuel Abuachi. We have a very good evening.